Hey everyone, today is the day that we do our Galaxy Note 8 versus the Galaxy Note 9 comparisons. We're going to do a few tests. We're going to do network comparisons, or what we call data Wi-Fi comparisons. We're going to do a speed test, benchmark comparisons, although I don't really like benchmarks. And we're going to do camera comparisons, video and photo comparisons between the Note 8 and the Note 9. And first up, ignore the whirring sound behind me. If you guys can hear it, that's my fan, because it's super hot here in Southern California with my lights all turned on for this video. And my computer, it's really hot inside my room where I'm recording right now. So just a quick disclaimer there. So let's run down some specs real quick for both phones. I don't know if you guys could tell the difference. If you can't really, this is the Note 8, this is the Note 9. Just from the front you can't really tell. The only way I could tell is because the Note 8, if I'm looking down here, has the chrome aluminum outer like edge or sides, whereas the Note 9 in midnight blue is just blue all around, even the sides. They're blue aluminum chamfered sides. So here in the front for the Note 8 and the Note 9, actually let's start up top. Here up top you could see the SIM card tray is the same on both, as well as the radio bands, which are these lines right here for the radios, and also the microphone holes are the same on both. They're right there on the right here on the right side. Okay, now from the front, starting up top here, you have the speaker for incoming calls for the Note 8 and also the Note 9, but the Note 9 you could also use it for dual stereo, where on Note 8 you can't. Here up top is the front facing selfie camera, and it is for the Note 8 and the Note 9, they're both similar. They're 8 megapixel cameras with f1.7. Right here you can see the iris scanner, where on the Note 9 you can barely see it. It's right there, but you can barely see it. You can probably see my reflection, more than you can see the iris scanner on the Note 9. And I'm going to lay him back down. The Note 8 has a 6.3 inch measured diagonal screen with a resolution of 1440 by 2160 for the Note 8, and the Note 9 has a 6.4 inch screen with the same resolution, 1440 by 2960. So I believe it's 1440 going this way, 2960 going that way for both of them. They both have, in similarity, an 18.5 by 9 aspect ratio. I think it's for going this way for watching videos. 18.5 by 9 for both of them. They differ because of the Note 8's slightly smaller screen. For all you PPI Patrol people there, with the 1440 by 2960 resolution here on the Note 8, it has a 521 pixels per inch, whereas on the Note 6.4 inch 1440 by 2960, it has 516 pixels per inch. Because they're almost similar in size, and the Note 8 has a slightly larger screen, so it'll have smaller bezels. The Note 9, did I say Note 8? The Note 9 has smaller bezels and slightly larger screen. The Note 9 has a 83.4% screen to body ratio, whereas the Note 8 has an 83.2% screen to body ratio. So as far as smartphone goes, it's one of the best in the industries. The only one's better is I don't even think it's Apple. As much as I don't like Apple, or I'm not too particular on Apple. The best is, I believe, on the Oppo Find 6 and the Vivo X or something like that. They have the better screen to body. They have a better screen to body ratio than the Notes or the S9s, and that's because their camera and their sensors are hidden, and they pop up with the mechanical mechanism. Let's speaking more on specs. Let's turn them over though. The Note 8, depending on your region, you'll either have the Exynos 8895 octa-core chipset with a Mali 671 GPU, and in other regions the Note 8 will have the Snapdragon 835 with the Adreno 540 GPU. The Note 9 has the Exynos 8810 octa-core processor with the Mali 672 GPU, or it'll have the Snapdragon 845 chipset with the Adreno 630 GPU graphics processing unit. A lot of people are kind of sour, like I said, that I hear these, I read these and watch these complaints about, like, oh man, why doesn't Samsung just make, all Notes have the same chipset, and why don't they all just have the Exynos chipset, that comes from Samsung? And my answer to that would be probably because based on radios and LTE technologies in different countries, but they're all sour about it because here in the United States we only get in I think China, we only get the Snapdragon versions, while the rest of the world will get the Exynos version. And there's like, oh, the Exynos version is faster, it's got a better CPU, yes, GPU, no. Both of these, the Note 8 and the Note 9, based on, and you can Google this, based on test, they have the better graphics processor than the Exynos version. The Snapdragon Adreno 540 and 630, 540 for the Note 8, 630 for the Note 9, has a better GPU and faster GPU than the Exynos version of the Mali 71 and Mali 72 on the Note 9. Where the Exynos beats the Snapdragon is CPU and CPU related task. So anything CPU related, I don't know, opening up apps, computing stuff, maybe video editing, the Exynos versions will be faster. If you like to run games, watch movies, the Snapdragon with the Adreno 540 will probably be better. So that's that. As far as their radio chipsets go, starting from the Note 8 and the S8s, and I've tried to look this up, Samsung has not published or put out what kind of modem do they use with their Exynos chipset on their newer phones like the Note 8, S8s, and S9, Note 9s. So I don't know, I couldn't find it, but I know the older ones from the Note 7 on down and S7 on downs, Samsung was using the X333 modem for their Exynos chipset. Now I think they don't use it because they're all built in. It just says like LTE modem. Qualcomm, on the other hand, the Snapdragon 835 uses the Qualcomm X16 LTE chipset. So you can take that for what it's worth. And the new Note 9 uses the Snapdragon 845 with the X20 chipset. Both phones are not 5G capable. We thought that the Note 9 was going to be 5G capable, but it's not. The first Samsung phone that'll be 5G capable will be the S10. And also, if we're looking at these from the back and also from the front, as far as build goes, they both they're all glass with aluminum frames. Like I said, the aluminum frame for the Note 8, depending on the color, this is the Orchid Gray, uses a chrome aluminum color, while the Note 9 is just all chamfered blue. And they both, the glass on front and the back are both Gorilla Glass 5, not Gorilla Glass 6 for the Note 9, as we were led to believe. It's I think the first Android phone that's going to have Gorilla Glass 6 will be an Oppo phone. And so the first Samsung that'll use Gorilla Glass 6 is going to be the S10. Batteries, internals, batteries. The Note 8 had a 3300 milliamp battery, which was smaller than the S8 Plus, and I think that's because of what happened with the Note 7. And also because of what happened with the Note 7, the Note 8 uses Quick Charge, Qualcomm's Quick Charge 2.0, as well as the Note 9 uses Qualcomm Quick Charge 2.0, whereas most phones from the past 2 years now, I mean my LG V20, they've all had Qualcomm's Quick Charge 3.0 technology. And like I said, 3300 milliamp per hour here on the Note 8, and the Note 9 has a 4000 milliamp per hour battery. One thing I have noticed, because of the bigger battery, the battery runs a little bit hotter, even with their built-in what they call carbon cooling system, water cooling system here inside the Note 8, or I'm sorry, the Note 9. But CPU and everything else runs cooler based off of Antutu. The CPU will run cooler during intensive tasks. The CPU on the Note 9 will be cooler than the Note 8 based off of that cooling system here in the Note 9. But the bigger battery feels hotter, and it seems hotter. It measured hotter on Antutu. So take that for what it's worth. Comms, like I said, on the Snapdragon, they do tell you that it's a Qualcomm X16 LTE Exynos. They do not tell you. Here, this Snapdragon Note 9 uses a Qualcomm X20. The new Snapdragon 855 chipset that'll be coming out for the Galaxy S10s will have the X50 modem chipset that will support 5G. And both of these phones uses Wi-Fi 802.11 A, B, G, N, and AC. They both have Bluetooth 5.0, apt, X, and all the other good stuff. So, am I missing anything else? Operating systems out of the bat. When the Note 8 was released on the second week of September of last year, it came out with Android 7.1.1 Nougat. The Note 9 Android OS, what is it? Android OS Oreo 8.1, and it was just released this past Friday, so August 24th release date, and I'm not quite sure what the date was, but I know it was the second week of September. So Note 9 just came out just a little more than, or a little less than a year later. The Note 9 is now here. And I think that's it. Oh, memory. Memory, the Note 8 out of the box came with 6 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. And depending on certain regions, you can also get a 128 and a 256 version. I believe there's a 256 version that is for Korea and China that also has 8 gigs of RAM on the Note 8. Whereas on the Note 9 out of the box, it comes with 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. Thank you, Samsung, for that. And you can also get a version in any region with 512 gigabytes of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. And both of them support micro SD cards up to 512 gigabytes, I believe. So the Note 9, if you get the 512 gigabyte version and then put another 512 gigabyte SD card that they will be coming out with pretty soon, this will be the first phone that is 1 terabyte capable, I believe. Yeah, that's what they were saying. And what else? I think that's it. Am I missing anything else? I believe that's it. Cameras, like they're both dual cameras, both of them 12 megapixels, and both of the cameras are OIS, optical image stabilization. The difference, not much for the 2x optical zoom from both the Note 8 and the Note 9. They're both optical zoom 12 megapixel f2.4. This is where they differ, is in their main camera. The Note 8 has a regular or wide, somewhat wide aperture, as well as the Note 9. They're both 12 megapixels. The Note 8 though has a f1.7 pixel or aperture. The Note 9 has a what they call a dual aperture, and this is what's used on most of your camcorders. So the Note 9 can go from f1.4 to f2.4 depending on the lighting conditions to give you a better video or picture. And also up here in the back we have our flash, and then our UV and heart rate sensors and things like that here in the back. Where it differs also is the fingerprint scanner is right here on the Note 8. I got used to this, so it wasn't really a problem. As a matter of fact, I got so used to this fingerprint scanner being here that the first few days I've had this Note 8, I've been touching the camera lens and the UV sensors, heart rate sensors, instead of the fingerprint sensor right here on the bottom. And there was a lot of complaints, people, they always nitpick about little things. About this fingerprint sensor, it's on the Note 9 being still a little too high for people with smaller hands. And the reason for that is, I believe, was because if they put it lower, then you wouldn't have the bigger battery. They were going to do the vertical camera layout like on the S9 Plus for the Note 9, but then they wouldn't be able to put in a bigger battery. And for me, I would rather have the bigger battery with this fingerprint reader up here than being down further and having a smaller battery. I would take the bigger battery any day. And so those are for specs. That's how it is for specs. Dimensions and build quality, like I said, they both use aluminum frames with Gorilla Glass 5. Here on the side is another complaint. They said they moved up the volume rockers, the power, and the Bixby button on the from the Note 8 to the Note 9. As you can see, the Note 8's Bixby and volume rockers are a little bit lower than the Note 9's. As far as feel go, they're both slightly raised above the aluminum frame, so you can still feel them out. They're both easy to feel out. And here on the side, again, the power button on the Note 9 is slightly higher than the power button on the Note 8. Also, you could tell, I don't know if you can tell, but the Note 9 is a little bit, just a tad thicker than the Note 8, and that is because of the bigger battery. And now let's go through the bottom. As you can see, thank you Samsung, we still have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. We have USB-C, like I said, with a quick charge 2.0 instead of 3.0. If you're paying a premium, we should have the latest quick charge technology, Samsung, and that's 3.0. They're getting ready for a quick charge 4.0 pretty soon, and I think a phone is going to have that by the end of the year. And then you have the microphone hole and speaker, and like I said, for the Note 9, the bottom and the top, the incoming speaker here are also dual stereo, tuned by AKG, and it also has Dolby Atmos. And then the S Pen right there. Speaking of the S Pen, here are the S Pens. Let's turn them over. So we have that little button right there. You cannot use the S Pen of the Note 9 on the Note 8 if let me just turn these phones on. You can't use the S Pen on the Note 9 on the Note 8 unless you take this out first. If this is inside, you can't use it. Whereas on the Note 9's S Pen, if you turn this on, or if the S Pen is still inside, you can still use it, and vice versa. Or is it vice versa? The Note 9's S Pen is slightly wider. They're both the same thickness, but the Note 9's S Pen is just a tad wider from, side to side. And that's because the Note 9's S Pen has Bluetooth Lite enabled, so it can be used as a remote control for like your camera and PowerPoint presentations, and probably because the Note 9 has DeX built in, you can use it probably as a mouse for the DeX operating system. So I just powered them both on right now. Let me log in. So as I was saying, the Note 9, see that you can't use that S Pen unless you remove it. Unless you remove the S8 or Note 8's S Pen. Now I can use the Note 9 S Pen. See? Now I'm at screen right. And if you use screen write with the Note 9 on the Note 8, it'll just be a regular white ink. So let's not save that. Let's just get away. Just get out of that. On the Note 9, the screen on memo, come on, is yellow. If you're using the Note 9, I don't know if it's showing. I think it is. So I'm not going to save that. And that's me. What else? Because of this Note 9 pin being a little bit slightly wider, it will not fit into the holster or silo of the Note 8. But the Note 8's S Pen can fit into the Note 9's. And see, as soon as I put it in there and come out, it'll activate. And same thing if I see, it's already activated right there. I can pretty much use the Note 8's S Pen on the Note 9. But and vice versa, I can do this here too. On the Note 8 and the Note 9 S Pen, but I have to have this out. If this is in, the S Pen here is inside, I don't think it'll activate it. See, you can't use it. You got to turn off, or you got to remove the Note 9's S Pen to be able to, or the Note 8's S Pen to be able to use the Note 9's S Pen. The Note 8, if I put the Note 8's S Pen in here, which it is in right now, if I, you can't use them either, I guess. So that's that. So they are interchangeable, but you have to remove the S Pen for each of the notes. And looking at the two displays right now, if you can see, or not see, no, I didn't mean to say not see. It seems like the Note 9 has slightly colder colors compared to the Note 8's slightly warmer colors, but on DisplayMate, this is the best, most accurate display right now, is the Note 9. So take that for what it's worth. But they're both beautiful, vibrant screens. Both look, they're all black. The blacks are very black, all like true black or whatever you want to say. And they're both bright. They can get really bright in sunlight. They're both easy to read in sunlight. And yeah, so that is it for all the specs, for all you spec nuts out there, all you tech heads, and that is it for all the specs. So like I said, the first thing we're going to do as far as comparisons go, oh, one more thing. The Note 8, or depending on lighting conditions and how you have it, what angle you're viewing it in, will almost look the same as far as this orchid gray color. The Note 9 though does kind of change. See, right now it looks black. If I go here, it's midnight blue. If I go here, it's a darker shade of blue. If I go this way, or actually this way, it kind of looks lavender or purplish. You see? So there you go. Take that, Huawei P20. Anyways, yeah, so that is it for all you spec nuts and spec hogs. Whew, that was a lot. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check for is data LTE Wi-Fi test. The one thing I can't show you right now, but I did do it earlier, is because I already got this activated and I don't want to redo it again. I was switching back and forth between the micro SIM card between the Note 9 and Note 8 just to test out LTE and also the calling. Both sound good as far as phones go, because let's face it, they are phones first. They're smartphones for most of us. So making calls, receiving calls are going to be equal for both of these phones. And it's also going to depend on your, who your wireless carrier is. Mine is T-Mo. And T-Mo here in Southern California has been pretty good. I have not had any drop calls. Everything is good most of the time. All the calls were clear. Even with my Bluetooth headsets, wireless Bluetooth headphones, calls were good on both of these phones. So that's that with phone